What up, Internet? It's your boy, RynoRyder, back for another episode. RynoRyder's vlog, episode 0, 3, 6 or 7, I'm not sure.
Flying through the sky, here we're burning bright. They're never gonna stop us with the brightest light. Think about the times we nearly fell apart. Well, now we're so alive with the wildest stars. Spending every night with my summer breeze. Cool, young and free, pure energy. Playing all the songs that we wanna hear. 'Cause we could be dead in the morning.
Okay, hey, welcome everybody. I am going to be, if you've been watching some of my content, I've been working on the screenplay set in the jungles of Brazil. Well, that story is now being changed into a TV series that we're going to be pitching to streaming platforms, i.e. Netflix. So what this means is that I'm now taking this story and turning it into a 6-episode season. And I figured I'd show you how I'm doing that. I already wrote the pilot script. It's going to need to be reworked, obviously. So here we go. There's not a lot of screenwriters out there, at least on the internet, that showcase how they outline, how they come up with stories. So in my never-ending quest to bring you, the viewer, more value, if you are an aspiring screenwriter, producer, director, filmmaker, storyteller at all through a visual medium, maybe this is for you. So let's get started. All right, so as you can see behind me, I got a lot of shit laid out. Let me kind of walk you through this. I'm a very visual person. I look at storytelling as I do trying to solve a puzzle, okay? So I've broken it down. Like I said, I'm going to do 6-episode series. I've already got the pilot, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to focus on the other 5 episodes that I have. Episode 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that will be the end of the season. So, what are all these blue lines? Well, let me explain. These blue lines, with the arrows drawn on them, represent the flow of how the story or how the season's going to go. Each block, each square block, is its own episode. Within each block, you can see there are different patterns of tape. Now, I use these patterns because I'm a firm believer in restrictions, giving yourself restrictions and finding creative ways to push through them. So, what I decided to do was come up with different structures for each one of these episodes. Because I've never really done a TV series before. I've never written a TV script before. I know there are certain beats, different variations than feature-length screenplay. However, I'm going to use that to my advantage of having never written a script for TV or worked in TV before. I'm going to just disregard any rules or anything that may be about it and just kind of go about it my own way. So, what do these mean? Well, let me break it down for you. What you're going to see fill in these spaces over the next coming videos will be a series of Post-it notes. Now, these Post-it notes are going to represent beats within the story. And so what I did is I've broken down kind of the opening of the episode, the meat here, and the climax conclusion. I tried to change up the variable because the different structures just inspire me differently to tell the story, even though it's still broken down into thirds. Here I got a cross. To be honest with you, I have no idea what this means. I don't know how I'm going to structure this story. I'm just going to use these restrictions and try to fit my story into it, if that makes sense. This one, episode 5, I do know that the director and I talked about having one episode take place majority in the past. So I figure the past is going to kind of be in this middle area while the outside is for the current story. And then this one you see is just a straight diagonal going across. And what this one represents here is this is our final episode of the season. And I'm hoping I can tie it all together and just kind of ramp up, boom, to a big climax to end the season. So let's get some Post-it notes. You'll also notice on the wall here, this isn't necessarily a section for an episode. I have my calendar here, but around it are pictures I cut out that I found on the internet of Brazil, of different locations around Brazil. Percy Fawcett, some shots from the movie. Manuscript 12 is a big part of our of this series. If you don't know what Manuscript 12 is, Google it. Map of Brazil. I like to have visual references up to help inspire me. Kind of keeps me within that world, keeps my brain in there. So that's what these things are for. Okay, got our Post-it notes. Obviously different colors. I don't have set things for each color. I just basically go, I don't know, however many I have of each one and figure out what the colors mean as I go along. So I'm going to start, since each one of these episodes, the beginning of it takes place in the past. We already decided that. The director, by the way, his name's Kaya. I'll link up, bing, right there. We already decided that the beginning of each episode is going to happen in the past, and it's going to start at the climax and kind of work its way backwards to the beginning. And then while the present day stuff kind of starts small and then ramps up towards the end, hopefully tying it all together in one big, precious bow and knot. So I'm not going to actively sit here and outline and go through, because it's a lot of me just standing here staring at the wall. I generally put on some music while I work, either Nine Inch Nails or I'll shuffle movie score soundtracks. But just to give you an idea of how I work, this is how I'm going to be approaching this. Instead of trying to tell it linearly from start to finish, I got themes. We have themes. We have the characters. There's a lot of shit in here that we're going to try to put in. I have my main characters up here. Basically, I'm looking to, how can I pepper in, I mean, this is kind of foreign territory. This is foreign territory. It's foreign territory to me, and I'll tell you why. Because I've never done this before. I've outlined a screenplay structure, and that makes sense. But this is a whole other bang. It's not going to be easy. Well, you know what? Forget the Post-it notes for now. Tell you why we're going to forget about the Post-it notes. It's very hard for me to teach and to think and create at the same time. But I do think that this is important for you all to see, and I will be doing more updates on this, and you'll see this start to fill out. So, since I'm not going to be sitting here actively working on the story, why don't I break down a little bit? Let's head to the whiteboard, and I will show you what I mean about what we're doing with the past and the present and how I'm going to connect that together. Come on. So, you can see from that, that's what I'm going to be attempting to do for every single episode. I will continue to vlog this as I get along. You'll start to see this thing fill out, and hopefully I can, once it does, I can break it down and get into some more nitty-gritty in terms of the story and how I'm coming up with things. It may sound a little unorthodox, but then again, I don't know, because I haven't seen the process of any other writers, nor really worked with any in the past. So I don't even know if this is gonna work, but this is how I'm gonna start. And this is my, this is me starting to get that structure and starting to put it in my brain in terms of, you know, how I'm gonna come up with it. Writing 6 hour-long episodes, pieces of content, that's a lot of content. And, but I can do it, I have faith. So thank you very much for watching this first vlog in writing this series. We don't even have a title yet. We kind of have working titles. There's a lot of very personal stuff that I'm actually going to be getting out. Extra demons I'm going to be exercising while I do this. That's the only way I know how to write. I get asked the question every single time, what kind of stories do you write? What kind of movies do you write? What kind of movies do you like? My answer to that question is initially something very vulgar in my head. I have a hard time relating to people that take movies as a form of escapism and as a form of just pure entertainment. For me, it's much, much, much deeper rooted than that. They are extremely important to me. You've heard me say it on here before, but movies have never let me down. And I am a built storyteller. I know that, and I think I'm pretty good at it. But that's for all of you to decide. Hence, I'm putting all this stuff out there, and you can tell me whether or not you think I'm crazy, brilliant, or just wasting my time. Anyway, thank you very, very much for tuning in. It really means a lot. I really appreciate this. If you could share this with your friends. I have a lot of other content. I'll link up some videos at the end of this where I talk about storytelling and breaking down structure and things of that nature. Looking forward to getting this story told and getting it out there. And we'll see where this takes us. You guys are all along on this journey with me. So thank you very much again. And in the meantime, go outline some shit. Go write some shit. Go make something. Go be creative. Have an amazing, amazing day. RynoRyder.